Tonight, 90,000 people in East Rutherford watched the greatest footballer of his generation cry on the pitch. Not from pain, not from injury, from losing. You've probably seen the clip. Lionel Messi, 39 years old, standing on the grass at MetLife Stadium, unable to hold back the tears. But the real reason behind those tears is stranger than he just lost a final. And it explains something important about your own brain. Start with the facts. On July 19, 2026, Argentina reached the World Cup final for the second tournament in a row. In 2022, they lifted the trophy. This time, they didn't. Spain won 1-0 in extra time. The goal came in the 106th minute, scored by Ferran Torres. Argentina didn't register a single shot on target in 90 minutes of regulation play. Not one. A team built around one of the greatest players in history failed to test the goalkeeper for an entire match. Why? Psychologists have studied what happens to a person who comes agonizingly close to winning and doesn't quite get there. In 1995, researcher Victoria Medvec, working with colleagues Scott Mady and Thomas Gilovich, studied the reactions of Olympic medalists right after they received their medals. Silver medalists, it turned out, looked more upset than bronze medalists. Bronze compares itself to fourth place, to missing the podium entirely. Silver compares itself to gold, to falling just short. Now picture Messi. He isn't a bronze medalist. He isn't someone who was never really in contention. He was one step away from a second straight trophy. His team was the defending world champion. And that final step didn't happen. This is called counterfactual thinking. It's the mind's habit of imagining the alternate outcome that felt so close. The nearer success feels, the more painful its loss becomes. Your brain does this constantly, even in small moments. Missing a bus by 10 seconds stings more than missing it by 10 minutes. The closer the near miss, the sharper the feeling. But there's a detail almost nobody noticed during the broadcast. Under manager Lionel Scaloni, Argentina had leaned on Messi all tournament, on his passes, on his decisions in the final third. That kind of dependence on one player works right up until the opponent solves it. Spain, led by Rodri, named the tournament's best player, simply cut off the supply lines before the ball ever reached the zones where Messi could dictate play. His first shot in the entire final didn't come until the 117th minute. Far too late. Here's the strange part. Losing to a team that was objectively stronger across the whole tournament often hurts more than losing to a single unlucky moment. Why? Because there's nothing specific to hold on to. There's no one mistake you could fix next time. There's only the slow, methodical superiority of an opponent stretched across 120 minutes. Even Argentina's group stage rivals hinted at this all tournament long. Cabo Verde, a World Cup debutante, went the entire competition as the only side the eventual champions couldn't beat across their qualifying history. A small detail, but it shows how rarely the road to a final is as smooth as it looks in hindsight. Now think about your own life. Have you ever been so close to a goal you could almost touch it and still missed it? An exam you failed by 1 point? An interview where someone else got the job? Your brain, in that moment, runs the same loop that was running through the stands at MetLife Stadium. It replays the alternate version of events, again and again, hunting for the one moment that could have gone differently. That's exactly why sports psychologists increasingly advise teams not to break down a loss right after the final whistle. A fresh wound reacts too sharply to counterfactual scenarios. Give it a few days and the same analysis feels calmer, without the sharp edge of what if. Within minutes of the final whistle, Messi was already wiping his eyes and walking over to congratulate his opponents. Calm on the outside. Inside, most likely, the same mechanism was firing that fires in anyone standing at the edge of an almost achieved goal. Tonight, you might replay that image again. 90,000 people in the stands, and one man crying, not from pain, but from how close happiness had actually been.